In a small northern town where autumn smelled of wet leaves and freshly brewed coffee, Anna lived. Her days unfolded in a cozy apartment above a bookstore where she worked, sorting old editions and helping customers find rare books. Anna loved her job, but sometimes felt her life was an endless cycle of other people's stories. She longed for something real, something her own. Thousands of kilometers away, in bustling Moscow, Katya spent her days in an office, buried under deadlines and endless spreadsheets. She was a designer at an advertising agency, but her true passion was collecting old letters and postcards from flea markets. Each handwritten note felt like a tiny window into someone's life. One October day, a peculiar envelope arrived at Anna's bookstore. It was old-fashioned, with worn edges, addressed to a Katerina without a last name, with the correct city, but the wrong postal code. Inside was a postcard with a lighthouse and a short letter in neat handwriting. Katya, I found this postcard at a market and thought of you. Remember how we dreamed of the sea? Write if you want to meet. Yours, D. Anna turned the envelope over. The sender's address was illegible, and there was no contact information. She decided to try finding this Katerina. Anna photographed the letter and posted it in a local online group. Does anyone know a Katerina? This letter came to our bookstore by mistake. I'd like to return it. The post gained likes quickly, but no one responded. So, driven by curiosity, Anna wrote a note on the same envelope, Katerina, I'm Anna. This letter reached me by mistake. If you're reading this, please write back. I want to return your letter. She sent the envelope to the same address, hoping it would find its recipient. A week later, Katya, returning home after a long workday, found the familiar envelope in her mailbox. Surprised to see her name, she was even more intrigued by Anna's note. Smiling, Katya decided to reply. She took a sheet of paper, chose her favorite fountain pen, and wrote, Anna, thank you for trying to find me. That letter is from an old friend, but I'm glad it reached you. Tell me, who are you? I'm Katya. I live in Moscow, and I love old postcards and morning coffee. Katya included another postcard, a snowy forest scene, and sent it to the bookstore. Thus began their correspondence. Anna replied a few days later, sharing stories about her life in the small town, the scent of books, and her dream of seeing the sea. Katya wrote about Moscow's noisy streets, her flea market finds, and her craving for quiet moments. Each letter was like a small gift. They tucked postcards, dried leaves, and even coffee beans into the envelopes. Anna once sent some so Katya could smell her morning. With each letter, they grew closer. Anna shared tales of quirky bookstore customers, while Katya sent hand-drawn sketches of her designs, which Anna pinned to her wall. They joked that their letters were a bridge between two worlds, a quiet town and a vibrant capital. But gradually, something deeper crept into their words. Anna noticed her heart skip a beat when a new envelope arrived. Katya caught herself checking the mailbox every evening, eagerly awaiting a reply. One day, Katya wrote, Anna, what if we met? I've never been to your town, but it feels as cozy as your letters. Anna sat with that letter for a long time, unsure how to respond. She feared reality might shatter their fragile connection, but she also couldn't say no. Come, Katya. I'll show you my world, she wrote, slipping a train ticket into the envelope. Katya arrived in early December, when the town was blanketed in fresh snow. Anna waited at the station, nervously fidgeting with her scarf. When Katya stepped off the train, they recognized each other instantly, not from photos, which they'd never exchanged, but from something intangible that had grown through their letters. They hugged, and Anna felt her fears melt away in the warmth of that moment. The next few days were like a fairy tale. Anna showed Katya the snowy streets, old houses, and her beloved bookstore. They drank coffee in a tiny cafe, where Katya laughed at how Anna carefully wiped her cup before drinking. They talked about everything: dreams, fears, and how a misdelivered letter had changed their lives. In the evenings, they sat in Anna's apartment, wrapped in a single blanket, reading old letters they found in a box at the bookstore. Katya confessed that the letter from D was from a childhood friend who had long since moved abroad. She hadn't replied to him because she realized her heart now belonged to Anna. Blushing, Anna whispered, "I was afraid you wouldn't feel the same as I do." They kissed that evening under the crackle of logs in the fireplace, and it was the moment their correspondence became something more. Claudia stayed for a week, reluctant to leave. They decided to keep writing, even if distance separated them again. But now their letters were more than words. They were promises, plans, pieces of their future. Anna began dreaming of a trip to Moscow, and Claudia of the day they'd visit the sea together, a dream they both shared. A year later, they stood on a shore, holding hands, watching the waves. In Claudia's pocket was the lighthouse postcard, the one that started it all. She pulled it out and said, "This letter was delivered to the wrong address, but it brought me to you." Anna smiled, leaning into her, feeling that their story was just beginning.